Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Tricia from Tricia Stamps, and today we are going to make a really fun, simple birthday card that is a shaped card, this ice cream cone, and it is featuring the Ice Cream Swirl bundle. This is a photopolymer stamp set and a coordinating die set. Today, for this card, we're going to use almost all die cutting and very little stamping. I have another video though that's a lot of stamping and uses a lot of these elements, so you can check that out if you want to see more of the stamping. But this is in the new January to April 2024 mini catalog. You can see it's even featured on the cover of our catalog. So this will be available in just a few days. It's right now it is December 30th of 2023, and these will be available the first few days of January in 2024. So let's go ahead and get started. As I said, this is a pretty simple card. It's just a handful of die cuts, really, and we're just gonna spruce it up a little bit. So the cool thing about, well, there's lots of cool things about this die set, but other than just the dies that cut out the stamped images, you also have this die that cuts, I'm going to show you with this open, it cuts the ice cream cone with a score line down the middle and then another ice cream cone so that it can fold in half like this to make a little card. And that would be cute to put on the front of a normal standard size card or to make a shaped card like we've done today. Also, you see all this texture that's in the front of my ice cream cone. There is a texture die. This does not cut an outline, but you just nest this inside of here. I'll show you in a minute to get that texture. And then we're also layering 2 die cuts to get textured ice cream swirl on the top. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, and zoom out just a little. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I've got a piece of crumb cake cardstock here. You see that okay? All right, piece of crumb cake. And I'm going to put this long kind of double ice cream cone die on there. And then I'm going to just center that texture die right in the middle, and I'm using a little piece of Post-it tape there to affix that. Don't think I can fit, maybe I can. Can I get my ice cream swirls on here? Let's try. So I've got lemon lolly cardstock, and yeah, I can do it. And I'm going to cut, this is the outline die of the whole swirl of ice cream. And then there's another layered die that does cut the outside, but it also cuts these little, I don't know, like little folds out of the ice cream. So let's cut both of those from the lemon lolly cardstock. And in order to create some space, I'm gonna cut my excess off of there because I don't need that. Get that set up again. And then down in this corner, there is another die that looks like this. And this die just cuts a whole bunch of little shaped pieces that are, you know, sprinkles or confetti or whatever you want them to be for your card. So I'm just going to put 2 colors underneath it, and I have some left over from my first card too, but I just wanted to show you how that works. So let's go ahead and put our plate on top and run all of this through. Okay. Put the machine out of the way. Pull our die cuts. Slide everything off. I'm just going to use my take your pick tool to get all these little, see all these little tiny confetti pieces? You could use that to make a whole bunch of little pieces for a shaker card if you wanted to. A fun, like, celebratory shaker card. That would be a cute idea. So let's see everything we've got. Here is the layering piece for the Ice Cream Swirl. And here is the background piece. So the layering piece for this one, remember, does cut an outline. For the cone, the layering piece goes inside of the cone and it does not cut an outline, but it gives you this really cool texture. And then there is, I don't know if you can see it in the light, but there is a score line here right down the middle so that you can fold this in half and give yourself a nice little shaped ice cream cone. So you could get really creative with what you want to do with that folded piece. So let me get my scraps out of the way. And then here's all my little bits. You can see what's left over from that confetti die. Get that out of the way. And my die's out of the way. Okay, let me zoom back in just a bit. There we go. And I'm gonna scoot these up here just till I need them later. And as I said, I did have some other ones left over in other colors from my sample card. In order to make this layering piece stand out even better, you could do this with 2 different colors of cardstock, or like I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add just a little bit of light shading using a finger dauber and some Daffodil Delight ink. I didn't really want the full daffodil cardstock. I just wanted a light application. So I'm just taking that and running it around the edges so it just gets a little bit of extra color. I don't know if you can see that very well on camera, but when I put this one on top, it definitely creates a differentiation between the layered piece and the background piece, okay? Now, there's these blanks in the layered piece, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball where those are and add a little bit of shading back there. Again, I didn't want it totally solid, but this will just give us a little bit of definition. Same thing here. Add a little bit where the other cutout is. There we go. I've got one little harsh line, so I'm gonna just blend that out a little bit. All right, that's it. In the same way, we are going to add a little bit of shading to our cone, and I'm just gonna use the same color ink. I've got crumb cake cardstock, so I'm using crumb cake ink as well, and also a finger dauber. And I kind of make sure that I don't have too much on there, and I just am gonna lightly go around the edges. I like to keep my finger dauber like almost perpendicular to the paper, and just so the side of it is hitting the edge of my cardstock, and just go all around in a little tiny circular motions. And see how you get a little rim around the edge of it just for some shading. Now I'm going to get most of the excess off of there, and I'm going to put a little shading right in this center part where there would be maybe a shadow under that top cup. There. So now I've shaded that piece of ice cream cone. So that is it for our inks. That's all we need for that other than our sentiment. So now we get to assemble. I told you this is a pretty simple card. So you could, if you wanted, you could line this piece with our adhesive sheet before you die cut it, since it has these real intricate little thin lines. But I have my green glue, my Tombow, in a precision tip applicator. So I am just gonna try to do that and make it work. Probably would have been easier had I done the adhesive sheet, but this should be okay. So I'm just gonna put the teensiest little dots along here in the corners. And if I get too much, I can kind of scrape the excess off so that it doesn't bleed out. And little dot there, tiny little dots in those. And when I do this, I kind of have a bead of glue that's poking out the end of this precision tip, which is just from Amazon. I can link it, and I take our glue and I load it into this tip. But I just have a little bead sticking out and then tap it to the paper. And then I'm going to use my tweezers to carefully pick that up. And then we're going to lay it down onto the base piece and just hold it flat for a second. Give that glue just a minute to make contact. And hopefully you can see how that shading behind makes that top layer just stick out a little bit so you can really see. To me, this looks like a lemon ice. Oh, there's a place in my neighborhood where they have the most delicious lemon ice. Ooh, got a little extra glue there from my finger, actually, so I'm just using an adhesive eraser to get that off before it makes a mess. Okay, now I'm just going to put a little bit more liquid glue right along the top edge of my cone. And we'll just glue this to the front of the cone like that. Press and hold for a minute. And you don't need to have a whole lot of overlap. You can leave, you know, a fair amount of this top cup area showing. And then when you open the card, the whole, let me show you from the side, the whole like ice cream part is just going to fold back with it. So it really doesn't matter how much is left overhanging. Okay. Make sure there's no glue back there. I told you this card comes together really fast. It's easy peasy. All right, now, so where these little guys come in is for our multicolored sprinkles. And again, I'm going back to my liquid glue, and I'm just going to put little tiny dots of liquid glue kind of all over, randomly around. And then I'm going to use the gummy end, spread these out a little bit. I'm going to use the gummy end of my take your pick tool to lift these up and place them down. And I'm using all of the different shapes here. So some of them are kind of triangular shaped. You've got big circles and little circles and little sprinkly shaped ones that are like long capsule shapes. And I'm just mixing up all the colors. And it's okay to cross over these lines in the die cut. That doesn't matter. Just hold those in place for a minute for that glue to set up. We'll get this one. Whoops. Flip that guy over. Find another yellow, or a yellow. I guess I don't have any yellows on here yet. We'll do yellows now. And these are all different sizes and shapes, and I'm really not paying too much of attention other than I'm trying not to have all the same colors grouped in one area. I'm trying to spread them out a little bit. But other than that, however they fall is just fine. There we go. Okay. Let those dry for just a second. Let me put the pin back in my liquid glue. That's how we keep this tiny nozzle from clogging up. And I'm going to take a scrap of white cardstock. And the only stamping that we are doing is for our sentiment. Ooh, I got to clean my block. This says, "Today is all about you." Here, I'll show you on the, oh, where did I take this from? This came from a different stamp set. Stand by. I took this from another stamp set that is new in our new mini catalog. And this says, "Today is all about you. Happy birthday." And this is a really beautiful, elegant stamp set. There's another one that coordinates with it. It's all part of a beautiful suite. This is called Notes of Nature, and I will be back hopefully in the near future with some samples using this set. But for now, we're just going to borrow the sentiment. And I'm just going to use my black ink. Ink that up good. And stamp that on a white scrap. I'm going to get my trimmer out and trim this pretty close. Let's see. Pretty close to the edge. I'm not really measuring the width of my strip. I'm just trying to get it really, see how it's close to the bottom of that happy birthday? And then close to the top. And I'm just looking through along my channel to see and cutting a little strip. Just like that. And I'm going to use the edges, or cut the sides down a little bit, just with my snips. And then we will take the, I think this is called Pick-a-Punch banner, Pick-a-Punch banners or something, I think, from the annual catalog. And I'm just going to slide this in to the flagging end and try to center it and give that a punch just to make it flagged, make it a little banner. So center that, give it a punch. Now, finishing touches. Before we put this across the front, I'm going to get my Wink of Stella. And I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to all those little sprinkles so they catch the light and look extra fun and shiny. Like a big confetti party on your ice cream cone. There we go. And that makes a huge difference in person. I'm not sure how much it picks up on the video, but it really makes it extra sparkly and festive in person. So I'm going to cut my dimensionals because I like to have some halves of dimensionals available here. And I think we'll just use like 2 of those on the back of our sentiment strip. I'm not putting them all the way out at the ends because we're going to go right across and it's going to hang over, so you don't want your dimensionals to be way out at the end. So I'm just putting 2 halves. And then this is going to just go right across. Pick a spot where you're not covering up all your sprinkles. Try to center it and make it as straight as possible. And there is our super sweet birthday card. There are some other sentiments that you could put on the inside if you wanted. Hope your day is sweet, or make a wish, or anything else. I'm just leaving it, and then you could write your message. This would be cute as a gift tag to, you could punch a hole and put this on top of a gift. I just think it's really sweet. The other thing is, once this is put together, it does fit inside of a standard envelope. So if you wanted to mail this, maybe with a gift card attached to the back or something like that, you can just put it right inside one of our envelopes and mail it. And that is our really simple, fun, quick card for today. Almost all die cutting other than the sentiment. And I love how it showcases these really cool dies from the Ice Cream Swirl bundle. So if you're interested in picking this up, it's just a few days that you have to wait until this catalog and all of its contents go live. For my current customers, I believe you all have a copy of the catalog, so you can take a peek inside and get a closer look at some of the samples for this. But if you're interested in this, go right over to my shop and you'll be able to purchase it as soon as the catalog is live on the 3rd or 4th of January. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody, and I hope hope you enjoyed today's project.